Hey, today I want to talk about the lessons that I learned from a 30-day no social media challenge. Hey, I'm Phil from Habit Bootcamps, and last month we did a 30-day no social media challenge. Now, it wasn't an entire digital detox where we weren't on social media for 30 days. The rules of the 30-day no social media challenge were simple. Not checking social media the first 2 hours after you wake up, and not checking social media the first hour before you go to sleep. I also made a video about it, about solutions to social media addiction and the negative effects of social media addiction. If you haven't checked out those videos yet, I invite you to check them out on my channel. Now in this video, I want to talk a bit about the lessons that I learned from trying not to check social media the first 2 hours of the day and the last hour of the day. Now, sometimes I was so used to checking social media in the beginning of the morning that the first thing after I woke up was just checking my smartphone, and before I knew it, I was clicking on the icon and Facebook was open. Or I opened my browser and it was still on the side of YouTube or Facebook, and before I knew it, I was on social media again. When we really become aware of our automatic behaviors in the morning and our fixed action patterns, and before we knew it, we're doing something and we didn't even realize it, we really can become aware on how we are addicted to social media, getting some messages, getting some likes, and getting some reactions. But if you really use the morning or the first 2 hours of the day carefree, social media free, interaction free, and just focusing on some deep work and what you have to do, you really can work creatively, you can work productively, and get a lot more work done in less time. Often there is no need to immediately go on social media again. You can still check it in the afternoon, during your lunch break, or in the evening. So not checking social media the first 2 hours of the day, but I'm actually going to make it the first 3 hours of the day, is immensely useful to just use that time, willpower, energy, and attention productively. Try to remove the shortcuts on your smartphone. Try not to go browsing again because there's a big chance that a social media site is still open. So one of the things that I use to make sure that I'm not checking social media is some apps and some tools that you can use on your smartphone and on your computer to block certain sites and apps during a period of time. I made a distraction destroyer guide with all my best apps and tools that you can work on your smartphone and computer to work deeply and with focus. If you want to check out my distraction destroyer guide, you can download it for free. It's in the description and down below. It has all my best apps you can use on your computer and your smartphone. So what I use is the app Freedom, and I block certain times during the day, the first 3 hours of the day, the last hour of the day, that I can't access social media sites anymore. It can also be a useful tool to just block out those things, so whether you want to or not, you just can't access those sites and apps anymore. So it's great to start the day without checking social media, get some momentum, really be creative, really be proactive, and not being reactive, because it's not the best use of our time, especially in the beginning of the day, because a lot of the things that we do on social media are not really productive, but more entertainment. Now, I did this challenge with my community. Each month we do a new habit challenge together with my community to hold them accountable. Now, we had to not checking social media in the morning, but also in the evening. And it was obvious that the most people have the biggest difficulty with not checking the social media the hour before they go to sleep. Why? Because by the end of the day, we have posted, commented, liked so much that we're anxiously waiting for responses. So all that momentum has been built up and we're anxiously waiting for any like, post, and reaction that we have. That's why it's so difficult to just put our phone away, because we're still anticipating so many reactions. So I made it the criteria to not check social media the last hour before you go to sleep. But I also discovered something else. Besides the fact of not checking social media the last hour before you go to sleep, it's also important to not make a major update or post a comment that you expect a lot of reactions on. Because if you, just the hour before you go to sleep, you're gonna make this post, you're gonna make this comment, you're still gonna be anticipating a lot of reactions and likes and responses. So if that is the thing you do just before shutting yourself off and wanting to go to sleep, you will be very anxious and you want to see what responses you get. And as soon as you wake up the next morning, in the back of your brain, you will really be thinking how many people actually responded to what I posted yet. So what I would invite you to do is, If you have a major comment or post that you expect a lot of responses on, or you anticipate a lot of responses on, only do it the latest 2 hours before you go to sleep. Then you still have 1 hour to see how many responses, reactions you have. You can respond to some comments. That way you won't be so anxious before you shut off your phone. You already reacted to some responses. You see how much people reacted, and the momentum of that post dissipated. If you're really gonna post something just before you go to sleep or just before you shut off social media, a huge part of your brain will be too curious to know if people already liked, responded, or contacted you. Another thing that I noticed when I didn't check social media the last hour before I went to sleep is that my deep sleep improved a lot. I got this wristband which monitors my deep sleep, and when I didn't check social media the last hour, I got more than 3 times as much deep sleep than when I did check social media. So my head was cramped up, I was being too anxious, too much looking forward to responses, and it didn't calm me down, it just got me too excited and too aroused. So if I don't check social media the last hour of the day, it enhances my chances of having a deep, nourishing, refreshing sleep a lot. Like 3 times as much deep sleep. Now that's a lot. So I even had more dreams. I'm even going to increase this time period. I'm not going to check social media an hour and a half before I go to sleep. It's also important that when I met people and I was going out, that I wasn't checking social media, I was really being present and not automatically grabbing the phone in my pocket. This is also another tip I'm going to give you. This was just about not checking social media the first 2 hours of the day and the last hour of the day. But what I'm also doing is that when I'm going to the gym and I don't need my smartphone, I just leave my smartphone at home, because you see so many people training in the gym and they're just scrolling through social media all the time. It's like they're training their fingers more than the rest of their muscles. Why do you have to take your smartphone there? If you really need your smartphone, it's fine. But a lot of the times, you really don't need your smartphone in the gym or in other things that you do. When you do those things, try to be fully present. Forget all that social media. You can check it when you're at home, and it will allow you to work a lot better, a lot more focused, a lot more deeply, and actually be present. So if you can leave your smartphone at home and not be online all the time, it can also help you to live a more balanced life. So these are some insights and some lessons that I learned from this no social media challenge. This is something I will definitely keep up. I will try to not check social media the first 2.5 hours of the day and not check social media the last hour and a half in the day. Try this challenge out for yourself. See how much of an impact it has on your relationships, on your productivity, and on your sleep. The rules are not so difficult, but to implement it, it's sometimes hard because we're more addicted to social media and technology than we think. As I said before, if you want to have some useful apps and tools to help you during this challenge to block it for you so you can't access it even if you want to, check out my Distraction Destroyer guide below. You can download it for free. And each month, we're going to put out new habit challenges. So each month, you can also join my Habit Bootcamp's Facebook group, where we will hold each other accountable during the challenge. If this challenge already has passed, no problem. Just try to do this challenge by yourself or with some friends. Try it out for 30 days, see if they really make your life better, and try to implement as much beneficial habits as you can. It's all about the small steps taken consistently. After 30 days, it gets easier and easier, and if you feel it's really something useful for you, try to keep it up, build up that momentum, because as you know, when we change our habits, we can change our life. Hey, it's Filip from Habit Bootcamps, and if you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe and check out some more videos about habit challenges you could try out.